All right, welcome back to It's New. Breaking news. The core update just finished. March core
Woohoo!
update is done. We'll get into that. I'll talk about that and some other things. Mordy, what do you got for us?
Well, if you got with that, nothing, I guess. But Google's Liz Reed got profiled by Bloomberg and made some interesting statements, or interesting statements were made about her and Google.
Cool. And Greg?
We've got some eventful new updates to search results.
All right, breaking news, the core update, the March 2025 core update just finished. I will have a standalone video just on that, so stay tuned for that. I'm still actually updating the post as we're talking right now. So I apologize if I'm a little distracted. Anyway, it started on March 13th, finished on March 27th, took about 7 days. The volatility was weird. We saw some volatility. I don't know how significant it was and so forth, but it was there. Again, I'll have a much more detailed post video and post on the Search Engine Roundtable a little bit later. And I also wanted to discuss that Google updated its spam policies documentation by changing just a couple words, removing, basically saying that it refers to spam refers to techniques used, as opposed to spam is web content that's designed to deceive users. So techniques used to deceive users versus content is designed to deceive users. And that basically goes back to what Danny Sullivan said at this Google Search Central live event in New York City, which he said numerous times actually before, that it's that they look at spam practices rather than as spam content, emphasizing that Google spam policies are based on curbing abusive practices than the types of content themselves and so forth. So this was actually highlighted again by Glenn Gabe. So thank you for that. And again, those two big newses, spam update, Google core update done, and the spam policies documentation was updated. Any comments, or should we move on to Mordy?
Move on to Mordy.
I don't think there's really a comment from Morty. I do have a comment, just mainly. I could tell Barry was updating his post during this, and I could just see the switch turn off where he's like, I cannot wait to leave It's New and go make a new Rusty Clicks video, and just, just thinking of the views.
Ching, 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 ching.
It's all about it. We're over 30,000 subscribers, 32,000 subscribers. We're growing fast.
Oh, yeah.
Keep the subscribers going. All right, Mordy, what do you got for us?
Oh, I got nothing like that. I'm sorry. This was reported on Bloomberg, but then it got covered by Danny Goodwin over at whose name I seemingly can't spell right, inside joke, on Search Engine Land. So there was an article covering what some former Google execs said about Google Search, and some quotes from Liz Reed over at Google. It's a huge article. Honestly, that article been half the size, but okay. Seriously. A couple of big things I guess you want to walk away with is, one, that Google was having teams work on things they were never going to use. That I found to be interesting, but that happens at big companies all the time, to be honest with you. Then the other thing was Liz said we want to focus more, make the search bar smaller and focus more on visual search and audio search and yada, yada, yada. And that she said that, AI is not a finished product. We're all working on it together, slowly molding into a thing. We have a direction. We're not directionalists, which is, I think, like, that's what you say. Thou doth protest too much, says Shakespeare. It means you do have no direction. It's a giant mess. The other thing that was interesting, and we don't know who said this, but a former Google person said, giving traffic to publisher sites is kind of a necessary evil. The main thing they're trying to do is get people to consume Google services, which is not new. I guess we knew that all along, but interesting to hear that from a former Google exec.
Yeah. The whole former thing is interesting, of course.
Yeah, that's also true. Yes.
Who's an exec? Yeah, they can't quote who it's coming from, but it does make sense. And everybody knew that, like you said, but like you said, coming from a former Google exec is somewhat telling.
On to Greg.
Yeah, I just one other thought on that article. I thought one thing was funny, just the way it read, when they were talking about Google Assistant, and they said many Googlers wanted to push this further, but the momentum was tampered. Basically about how it could exist with its advertising-based business model, according to two people familiar with the matter. One person ended up saying, "How the F do we put an ad on it?" The former manager says of voice search. That's when the real crisis started.
Yeah, exactly. I can just imagine like a bunch of Googlers, especially the ad teams, like in a room looking at money and like, where's our money going to go?
Yeah.
And it's like Wall Street. I spoke to so many like Wall Street analysts, and they just didn't get it. They didn't understand like, where's Google's AI stuff? I'm like, once they come with their AI stuff, how the hell are they going to monetize that? It's going to be a rough thing for them to monetize. I'm sure they'll figure it out, but it's to play with their money, where their cash is just like flowing in. Like I see like a cash blower, like just like flying money at them, and to like stop that from happening, that cash funnel, or to tamper with that is very scary for a lot of Googlers. And that article summed it up really well. Like Mordy said, it was written in a way that could have been written shorter, but it was very entertaining to read. So it was a good write-up. Anyway, Greg, what do you got for us?
All right. Well, Vijay Chauhan had a much shorter write-up where he talked about 5 new features and event-rich results worldwide. This is within Google. Barry, you noted that some of these might be new, some might not be new. I don't use a ton of events on Google specifically, but one thing that I thought was cool is you could add an event right to your calendar. So if you're looking at something, you pop it right in. You can also share it with friends. As if you scroll down, I've seen this before, but there's similar events. So if you're looking at an artist and you want to see other locations they're playing, you can do that. You can also get event venue details and then nearby food and drinks. And then lastly, within Google, there was a test spotted by, I'm assuming a test spotted by Sachin Patel for a giant blue button in the knowledge panel. In the past, the button was underneath the description. This button is large, blue, bold above the description. I just want to say, I don't mind this. I don't think it looks amazing, but as somebody who has to do a ton of advertising and knows the burden of bidding on brand terms and how it is a necessary evil to use Google's terms, having any more links off to the actual brand that somebody's looking for is a big step up. And even when you use Chrome now, you can start typing company name in, and Google makes it very easy to make more brand searches. So I think this is fine. I would like more links off of Google, even though they probably don't want that.
For sure. All right, great. Thank you everybody for watching It's News during the very new news about core update and stuff, but that wasn't the big story. I think the big story was what Mordy covered. So
I think the big story, Barry, was we forgot your birthday this week.
I didn't forget. I've been tagging him everywhere.
Wow.
We
forgot to acknowledge it on the show. So happy belated birthday, Barry.
Happy birthday, Barry. We love you so much. You're the best.
Thank you.
Wish Barry a happy birthday in the comments and then subscribe. That's the only present he wants.
Yeah, and to go on other social platforms and also wish him happy birthday multiple times. It's like voting. You can just wish him multiple times.
Thank you, period.